Hi everybody, this is Ashley with Publish with Ashley, and we have another YouTube video about how to create covers and techniques and making covers for Kindle Direct Publishing books, KDP books. These techniques can definitely be used for any type of book. It doesn't have to be low content. It's just a book cover, right? So we're here on Amazon, and I wanted to show you, I was just looking through the bestsellers list and I saw this one with basically a pattern of rainbows. And I was looking again, like what I like to do is I like to go on Amazon and kind of look at central themes as far as what I call a treatment or something that it gives a feel. Like, see, here's that wraparound. If you haven't seen my other YouTube videos, I have a whole playlist on creating covers, so make sure you check out the playlist on my Publish with Ashley YouTube channel. And remember, I was talking about in the other one, the wraparound like border. This is one, and it's got a main picture and then a title. But what we're gonna do is I was scrolling down here, and this isn't exactly a pattern, but yeah, it's just kind of a pattern of rocks, crystals for beginners, right? And so this is a pretty bright and colorful book cover, but it's a pretty simple design when you really think about it. So we're going to talk about patterns today. That's one of the things I love to do, patterns, because I like patterns. And so patterns are one of these things. So first thing I want to show you too is on my website, publishwithashley.podia.com. If you scroll down here, covers and PDF code freebies. I can talk about the PDF code freebies later, but this covers is going to be let's click on it. Okay. It is going to be, you can get access to this for free. It's the KDP dimensions and then the PDF macros. This is to save in PowerPoint. You can save covers as a PDF if you're going to do multiple time. And I can talk about that later, but I actually have a video on my YouTube channel that talks about that. But these two, this cover dimensions and the calculator, I'm going to be showing you today. So I wanted to show you where you can get them for free. And that's it. Okay, so today we're going to be working on PowerPoint. This particular technique is somewhat specific to PowerPoint in the sense that it's the way I create and use patterns on PowerPoint, but it's not necessarily something different than you would use other places. You would I'm going to show you on Canva as well in one of my next videos, but I'm just going to show you kind of why one of the reasons I like PowerPoint and why it's easy, especially with patterns. All right, so what I'm going to do is, remember, we've got to lay out our size. So I've been doing the example of an 8 by 10 with 120 pages. This is my quick cheat sheet, if you remember that. That's 16.52 by 1025, and the spine is 0.27. Okay, so that's the dimensions. Now I'm going to show you the KDP calculator. This is actually KDP, like I said in the other videos. This is from KDP. You can download it off their site, but you can also download it off mine. It's just sometimes hard to find off their website. So once I found it, I downloaded it and was happy that I'd found it. So you just click in your paper choice, and then you click in your size, different sizes, right? And how many pages, type that in, and then you hit cover. Okay, so that's going to get us that, remember this to this, 16.2.52, and then the other is the 10.25, and our spine is over here, 0.27, right? So my cheat sheet, I use it because I think it's easier, but you can calculate anything. If you have 125 pages, you can use this calculator. So just so you know and have it. All right, so we got to put that in PowerPoint. So we're going to hit design, and whatever you're using, Canva or whatever, you're going to put a custom size, right? So that they're going to put that custom size, and this one is 16.52, and the height was, 5.2, sorry, bad typing skills, 5.2 and 10.25, 10.25. This is in inches, and I'm going to hit OK. And if you're using Canva, you're going to also, because you're saving it as a PDF, you're going to put it in as inches because when you save as a PDF, that's just the best way to convert it. Don't put it in pixels, put it in inches. All right, so I have this slide, this blank slide here that is going to be my cover. And like I always say, I like to insert and I like to put where my spine is and about how big it is. I may or may not keep this, but I'm going to put it, remember it was 0.27, enter. I may make this bigger, smaller, but I like to know where it is from the beginning because it sets my head in the right spot. For PowerPoint, remember I always go over here, no outline, and right now I'm just going to leave it blue. But in case I change the color, I always put no outline so that I'm not fiddling with it later because sometimes I change the color a lot. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create basically the seamless pattern. This is one of the reasons I like PowerPoint, because if you have a seamless pattern, this is really easy to do. So I have already downloaded a bunch of seamless patterns, and you can actually look on YouTube and Google to find out how to create a seamless pattern, or you can if you just find a seamless pattern that you buy, purchase, get for free, however you want to do it. There's various methods to getting a seamless pattern, but I tried to create my own seamless pattern and they weren't very pretty. So I think you should learn from people who are much better at it than I am. But the first thing I'm going to do, I've already downloaded some. I'm going to go to design and then I'm going to hit format background. And this is one of the reasons if you have a seamless pattern, I really like PowerPoint, because you just go to that, then you go over to fill picture or texture. This little template will come up and you're going to hit insert from a file. And these are ones I already have. I liked this one down here. I found it was kind of fun. All right, so it inserts it. Well, maybe I don't want this pattern this big. Maybe I want it a little bit smaller. So what I can do is you can hit tile as picture. And look, it makes it smaller. Now, if I want it even smaller, I think I'd actually like it that size. But let's say for some reason you wanted it smaller. You can change this to 95 and 95%. You'd want to keep the scale, the XY scale even, otherwise it kind of looks funny. But yeah, actually I kind of like that. Now say I want these to be moved over a little bit, like maybe I want the cameras more center. Something you can do is offset X. I think if I go negative, yeah, negative, it goes that way. So let's try negative 50. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay, so now I have these kind of centered and that looks really nice and with the cameras. And I like that. That's great. So now I have my pattern. I could take my spine off or not. At the moment, I'm going to leave it because I like using it to help me center my text. Now, let's go back to this real quick, my little cheat sheet here. And my cheat sheet says that the outside margin is 0.25. So I'm going to put, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to insert a grid, vertical grid line. I'm going to take him and move him over. So remember, that's at 8.26, so 0.25 is at about 8. Okay, so now I want to center between just past here and here. And the reason I'm going just past is because there's actually a little bit of space for the fold over where you actually, the book folds. That actually takes some space to fold the book. So you want to kind of center your text between there. What I'm going to do is I am going to do something kind of fun. I am going to insert, I had downloaded, let's see, a frame. Remember that example? Oops, sorry, it's in here. It's in this gold frames. I had found some gold frame clip art. So I'm going to insert this one. It's like a hexagon. Okay, there it is. Now you're thinking, oh, that's no fun, because if I'm going to use writing, make it a little smaller. If I'm going to use writing, then you can't see that. So one thing you can do is you can insert a shape. I'm going to actually try one of these little hexagon shapes. Where are they? That one. right there. And I'm going to insert it so that I have a white space to work with. So I'm gonna, let's see, go all the way out to there. I'm just trying to fit it so it kind of fits as best as I can in here. And what I'm actually gonna do is my shape outline, no outline. My shape fill is going to be white. So I kind of have this white space to do my text on. And maybe I'll actually fiddle with it like that, or maybe I'll make it a little bigger. I'm not going to worry too much because one of the things I'm going to actually do is I'm going to fiddle with the transparency a little bit. So I have that as a white, and I'm going to, let's see, fill transparency. So I can fiddle with the transparency. It's one of the reasons I like to keep it format shade open. So, but I'm going to make it pretty dark so we can write our wording on there and you can actually see the text. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it backwards. Okay, so it's behind this. The next thing I'm going to do, because I don't want to accidentally move those apart, I'm going to make sure I highlight that, and I'm going to hit Control and highlight the other one. And then I'm going to group them. That way they're one, right? So if I make them bigger or smaller, it does it together, okay? You could also maybe use a circle, and maybe a circle would look better. You can fiddle with it and change the shape to see what looks best. Maybe I would use a circle because it might fit this better. But you can play with that and see what you like. Or, you know, use maybe a circle frame. Or you can overlap this white, so that they're behind this, and you do like one that fits that way, one that fits this way, so it kind of fits the shape. There's different ways you can do this, but I was just trying to show you a way that you can do it. And I think actually a circle might look better, but we're just going to leave it like that for an example right now. And I'm going to insert my text, right? I need a title. So maybe this is a travel journal for teens. And I'm going to center the text, and I'm going to go like, oops, enter. And then I'm going to highlight the box, and I'm going to find a fun font. I love this font, Adviento. It's one of my favorite fonts because it's a good font that, oh, this is kind of a fun one. So let's do A.R. Christie. This is a free font. If you search for it on Google, I think you can find it. I don't actually remember where I got it from. But I'm going to go like that, make it big, but it's kind of a fun, funky font, and it works good with this. And what I'm going to also do, remember I love to add highlights. And then I'm also going to change the color of my font. Instead of that dark, I'm going to pick one of these dark there, so it kind of matches. Another idea for a font, and you can see how it looks, is you could pick this, like one of this pink colors, but maybe that's too much. But what you could do is go over here to and text outline, solid line. It's in blue, but you can pick that dark. So maybe you do want it pink with a little bit of gray, and you can actually make the width of that a little bit more. So maybe that's too much. That looks okay. And I want to go over here and fiddle with my shape options again. So text, when I did the outline, was under text options, right? That makes sense. And shape is kind of like the whole box. So maybe I want to add another shadow, a little bit more. I don't know. I think no. So I'm going to take that one off. Did it take it off? No. No shadow. All right. So there you go. That is kind of a fun, funky font. Now the spine, you could take this spine off completely, or you can make it a color. I love to make mine colors that are on the cover, and I usually like to make it like one of the bright colors on the cover. Oops, sorry. Click on it. I clicked on the text. I meant to click on the shape fill. There we are. shape fill, the eyedropper. I'm going to pick like this kind of bright color right here. All right, so it stands out. I like that. Now, one of the next things I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure this is centered. Remember I talked about centering stuff? This is the way I like to center in PowerPoint because it's easy. I'm going to, oops. Here, let me delete that shape and start again. Insert a shape. And I'm going to make it so that's just past. Remember, you have to have that space for the fold over. Oh, I didn't get it. But it goes to the edge here. And I'm just going to move this over just a bit. So now this is kind of being a little picky, but I like to be sometimes. So now I'm going to send this backward. Okay, now I'm going to hit Shift and select all this. And then I'm going to hit Align Center. And now my text is perfectly aligned. And then I'm just going to go click over here somewhere. I'm going to highlight, oops, not that one. I want the blue box. And hit delete. And now everything is perfectly centered and it's pretty. Maybe it's too much. You know, maybe this pattern like this is too busy. So, because I'm kind of looking at it now and it's busy. So let's go back and edit that. Remember how I did that? You're in form. I have nothing clicked. That's how you go back here. And I had the insert the pattern. Here's that 95%. Let's untile it and see what it looks like. Oh, sometimes you've got to, there we go. There's at 100%. So maybe does that look better at 100%? I don't know. You can fiddle with it. I think it kind of does. It looks a little, the 95 was maybe a little bit too much. And I kind of like the cameras hanging out over the sides. So you can fiddle with it and make it different. You can try and reinsert it to make it bigger. But once you've tiled it, it kind of goes a little funny. So you have to maybe reinsert it. But there you go. There is a cover. All you have to do now, remember, is hit save. And you're just going to save it as a PDF. You're going to make sure it's 330 DPI. You can check some of my other PowerPoint video to see how to do that. But I want to make this short and sweet. And I will see you in the next video. And we're going to talk, and I'm going to show you some patterns in Canva and how to do something similar. All right. Thanks so much. Bye.